I guess that doesn't really count because there's two pointy ends on the Viking ship, which is actually very convenient because they can actually sail the ship backwards when they need to. And that's often used as a strategy when you're doing a jibe, if you know you're sailing. Figurehead up top is our Draken. White oak is the majority of the hull. Lapstrake Drake clinker construction. They took two pieces of white oak, they put them around like this, and then drive these iron bolts through it with a washer on one side. It's going to take about 100 pounds of a hammer to drive that nail or that bolt down to hold it in place. 10,000 bolts throughout. 115 feet stem to stern, 26 feet wide, 79 feet to the top of the mast, a little over 5 feet to the bottom of the boat, but it drafts about almost 9 feet with the steering board in the back. We've got 3 runes of interest. You'll find all kinds of cool carvings along here, by the way. Keep your eyes out for them. So 3 runes. A, T, and R. And the first one's going to stand for protection, protecting the whole ship. Algies. Excuse my pronunciation, I'm only half Danish, so sometimes I'll get it. T is Tiwa, and the R is for communication and navigation. Any idea what that word might be with an R? Radio. Kind of cool, huh? Yeah. And the reason why that one is so important on a ship such as this is communications. We've got a very mild-spoken captain. When he makes his commands of tack, it needs to work its way all the way up through the boat. So nothing happens alone on a Viking ship. It really does take a team effort. Any questions? I'm sorry? That's what we call a capstan. It's basically a winch, and we use it for our anchor. It is not period correct, but in order to make a working, modern sailing vessel, that technology was developed in about the 1500s. That's correct, yeah. We've got these spokes that are over here, put it in here, and we walk around. If you're into workouts, we call that arm day. You're going to walk around this thing and raise it up. And the stern, to raise the yard where the sail is attached, was a vertical one, and they'll talk about that in great length. The yard with the sail on it weighs about 2.5 tons. So very heavy. It takes about 15 to 20 people just to get the sail up. There's lines that connect to both ends of the yard arm. Of a ship this big, other than the stories and what's been passed down. We're pretty sure they existed in descriptions, but we haven't actually found one. But the number of ships that were built versus the ones that have been found, the ratio is pretty slim anyway. So we know they're there or they were built, but there's nothing.
They were all pretty consistently the same design?
Basically, because it works. It's extremely stable, and the boat really moves when you're sailing. It's almost like a sea snake, is what they say, because it'll move in all the different dimensions. Because like I said, one of the reasons why it had all that bracing was because it wasn't stable enough the first time out. It had just too much movement. They were afraid it was going to just tear itself apart. But now it's extremely stable, but it still flexes. These boards, did I show you this already?
I think you showed us. I don't know if you showed them.
So it's just, like I said, we're sitting on a built deck over it. And as you come across, they'll wobble on you because they're a little just warped from being out in the sea and the air. I'm going to ask you guys to move on down to the next station. Thank you guys for coming very, very much. We couldn't be here without your support, so we appreciate it.
Sail is up. There's lines that control the wood is the yard arm. So there's lines that control that, and there's lines that control the bottom of the sail. And there's a couple of sticks over here that they put in here to hold the bottom of the sail.
All right. Hang out with Jaden.
So it keeps it out when they need it out. This is the second mast that they had. The first one kind of exploded on their first ocean voyage. They're trying to stress things and see how they did.
It exploded?
It broke, and it's just sitting in the hole. So the bottom half ejected out into the ocean. The top half fell down on top of the bathroom. And somebody was in there at the time.
Oh no!
So since then
they never went there again.
Yeah, right.
They built a tunnel into here so that people can get out. You can't get trapped.
There you go.
Shrouds, because there's these ropes down the side you got to miss. So you got to turn it up, rotate it, and then put it down.
Wow.
And then hoist it the rest of the way up.
By manpower.
Yes.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So quite a few people you need.
You think? I mean, that looks like a heavy piece of wood right there.
So it's 5,000 pounds, the sail and the yard arm. Yeah. It's going upwind that amazes me. Because it wasn't
Have you
so much.
seen it? Have you seen it go up?
Friday night I will.
Yeah.
But
Are you riding on the ship to
Yeah.
Maine? Oh, awesome.
Maine and then back to Boston.
Yeah.
100 people.
To row at 4 knots.
Yeah. And
So there's 25 oars a side and there's 2 people per oar.
how heavy are the oars?
I didn't get to lift one yet because I
Yeah.
didn't bring them with them, but these are the holes for them.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you think? You want to row it?
No.
No? You want to sail it? No? You don't like boats? Fish? Oh boy. Do you like Vikings? No. We're running out of ideas for you.
Just throw them.
Back here. And then we have the ravens. The ravens are from
Probably call them crows,
yeah. Yeah. They're in the same family. They're corvids.
like the Vikings, like that show, the Vikings, the Ravens.
Yeah. It's Hugin and Munin, and they are Odin's companions. And they're messengers for him. They go out in the world and they gather information, and then they come back and they tell him all that they have discovered. And thus he's a wise and knowledgeable god. He learns all the goings on. Over here, you see our decorative tiller attached to the rudder. That has a name. It's called a steerboard. And if that sounds familiar, it sounds like starboard. And that's where we get the name starboard from, because it's over here on the rig side. And that is how we control the direction of the ship. You see this device here. This is a windlass, and I believe this dates through about the 15th century, so post-Viking era. What this does is this gives us mechanical advantage. By using these spars here, each person becomes 7 times stronger when pulling on it for wrapping this line here, which is the halyard, to haul the yard. This piece right here, which has the sail attached to it. The yard and the sail together weigh about 2,000 pounds. If this ship were a Viking ship with Vikings on it, maybe 100 of them, they would just use block and tackle and be able to do that. But because we're only about 30 or 35 people on the crew, we need something to give us mechanical advantage. And then right forward of that, you see our galley. And it's great to see there. A lot going on. It's small but mighty. It's got a 4-burner propane stove, a small sink with running water. We have a cook and a cook's assistant, and they prepare 3 meals a day for us. And then we have 2 coffee hours with snacks and a lot of variety of food to meet different dietary needs. We're very well fed. Oh, wow. We have storage for the food along port and starboard side, and we also have refrigeration. So we're able to have fresh meats, fruits, vegetables, and dairy products.
Do you have an electric generator, or how do you make electricity here?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. And we also have engines on board. We have,
Okay, so the diesel engines power your...
yeah, we have 2 diesel
Yeah.
John Deeres.
So plenty of electricity.
Yeah, we do.
It's not that dark at night.
It's dark. We don't keep
You don't-
lights on because it ruins your vision.
Yeah.
You know, you get the blind spots and
Right.
you can't see. So when we have our night shift, our night watch, we keep the lights to a minimum. Even the red lights, we try to keep those on, so that
Usually there's
See where you're going, sort of.
so you can see better. Sometimes, you know, we do turn them on. Like I
Yeah.
have to find this little thing, but otherwise we'll walk around the deck and we'll do our work in the dark.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much you can acclimate to it.
Yeah, and there's quite a bit of light even in the night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And see the stars really well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This end of the boat, this is where we raise and lower the sail. This is where we steer. So that's the steerboard, which became starboard. And the other side of the boat in Norwegian Norwegian is the knobboard or no steer board. It's kind of funny that it's off center. All the modern sailboats, the rudder's in the middle. And this one, it's over on the side. And when you take a walk around back there, you'll see that if you stood in the middle, you can't see anything. When you stand over on the side, you can see everything.
Good point.
So it's really kind of important. You'll see some of our modern safety gear in the back, but generally the boat's designed as the Vikings did it. This is a newer piece, the Spiele, and they have 3 of these going across, and there's 3 people on each, and that's how they hoist the yard. The yard and the sail together is about 5,000 pounds.
Wow.
So you really need some help getting that up. Now, you see the shrouds, there's all these lines down the side. You can't just spin the sail and get going. So what they do is they actually raise it halfway up and then twist it. And then you can rotate it and then you can put it down. So you can get it past all the lines. And when you want to tack, you have to go through that again. So it's not like a regular sloop rig sailboat, which is easy to tack.
Yeah.
This one is like all hands on deck, we're going to tack.
Wow.
I haven't seen that yet, so I can't quite answer. But there's a movie tonight up at the Pilgrim Hall, and they'll show you actually what goes on.
Oh, cool.
Once the sail is up, there's ropes in the front holding the yard at both ends, both forward and back, and the bottom of the sail, both forward and back. And so they can trim the sail as we can sail into the wind, which is kind of pretty good. For safety regulations, there's lifeboats on board, there's diesel motors so we can get into tight parking spots like this. But feel free to take a walk around the back. That's the navigation station. Underneath is an office for the navigator. But,
How long have you been with the ship?
1 day.
Oh, okay. Well, you
doing
sound
great.
very knowledgeable.
Oh, yeah, they gave us a sheet to read last week.
Cool. Will you be sailing on it when it goes?
Yes, Friday
Yeah?
night, sailing up to Maine.
Quick questions. About how old is the ship that this is modeled on?
So they found an actual ship from 900 AD. It's in a museum in Norway. There's a picture up on the top. They started with 3 models, one that exactly matched that, one that they modified a little bit, and another one. And then when they decided to scale it up, they changed everything again. So they're trying to use the Norwegian shipbuilding techniques and learn what they did from the Vikings. So the nails in the boat let the boat flex. And so they kept that. The starboard's on the side, not in the middle. They kept that. So it's historically accurate, but it doesn't exactly match any boat. So this is their best interpretation of how you would build a 110-foot boat, because the one they found in Norway is like 60 feet. And if you want to make it across the ocean in this, you really have to do some more engineering. So I don't know if he told you in the front, but either after they built it and they took it out for sea trials, the clinkers actually worked too well, and the boat flexed too much. So they had to go back and put another layer in of decking and reinforcement to flex it less, to make everybody out comfortable, because you get on a Coast Guard cutter, it doesn't flex.
Most of your best ships don't.
But this one's built on purpose to do that, and apparently the technique works really well. So these extra boards going down the side were added, this extra layer of decking was added, but it's only like a foot deep to the deck below it, a foot or 2, so there's really not much.
Where in Maine are you sailing to?
Rockport,
Oh,
Yeah.
you're going to
then
love that.
Portland,
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
and then back to Boston.
Oh, okay.
When are you
So
going to
that's
leave Plymouth?
Friday night around 7:30 or 8:30.
Oh, tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Cool.
So it should be fun. So take a walk around the back. You can operate the starboard.